Hi everyone, welcome to the pilot episode of Manifest Unloaded. Basically, we're regular guys. We do regular guy talk. We talk about the things that's going on in our life and some of our past experiences. We've been friends for 20 years and we got some stories to tell. But what we want to cover on this podcast is basically like the male brain and the male perspective. And in the future, you guys will be able to write in questions and we'll answer those. And just leave any questions you have in the comments, and we'll be sure to address those on our next episode. But we're about to get started, and we're about to crack a beer and go away with it. All right, first off, a little bit about me. Daniel, kind of on the guy spectrum. I'm a little more nerdy in the fact that I like to read and research, and that's kind of what I do on the weekends. And I'm a golfer, and not every typical guy is a golfer, but that's kind of what I do. And a little bit about Bobby is
I like to drink and ride the golf cart.
we both drink, we both ride the golf cart. That's right.
I'm pretty much the opposite of the spectrum. I hunt, fish, more of the manly things. I'm a little different. I'm more of a country breed. He was more of a raised up city boy.
Yeah,
just a little different.
That's right. I was actually raised up in the project, so that gives you a little bit about me. But we actually met now going on around 21 years ago. And when I first met Bobby, I was real good friends with a guy named Jeff.
We recently just lost.
Yeah. He recently passed, but myself, Bobby, Jeff, we'd spend just about every weekend together, and like I say, we're always, back in my day, or our day, the thing was to just hook up our cars and, turn them into lowriders and go uptown, and we'll get more into that later in the episode.
Well,
but
I had the old school pickup truck with the mud tires on the back.
That's right.
I didn't ride that.
Keep in mind, we do live in the South, so, again, even then, we were on totally opposite ends of the spectrum. When I first met Bobby was 16 years old and weighed about 110 pounds.
That's a lot.
And and looked like a Fabio type character. He had hair down the back of his neck.
The Hansons.
But right away, we hit it off. We got great chemistry together, and we've always just got along. And and then shortly after I met him,
I was 145.
Yeah, well, 145. So that's like 2 cheeseburgers away from 110. So
And I was way shorter.
Yeah,
How's your height?
That's right. I was actually taller than him. But yeah, we hit it off, and we our big thing was hanging out uptown, and Bobby actually, he had it made because he had his own room down in the basement, which was basically at 16 years old like his own house.
It was like a whole house.
And we had a lot of fun going in and out of that room with visitors back in the day.
I don't want to elaborate on that,
but funny story, when I first walked up to Bobby's house, this was back in the 90s, and I wore these big, some people call them bell bottoms, we call them wide leg jeans.
Jeancos.
Yeah, Jeancos and this and that. And at that time, that was kind of before you got into that.
Right,
and
Wranglers.
so most of your friends were typically what? Country boys, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
So I come up to Bobby's house, and and again, I had earrings. I think I may have had, I don't know if I had my tongue. No, I didn't have my tongue ring pierced.
No,
I had piercings and maybe, I don't even know if I had tattoos. But anyway.
Yeah, earrings. That's
okay. Yeah, a bunch of earrings and wide leg jeans.
We did together.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm trying to, put all this in chronological order. So.
Daddy don't have that though.
Yeah, so I come up to his driveway and I get out and I say, who? Is Bobby home? And his dad's sitting in the driveway at the time talking to a dog, Bullet.
Old school,
yeah.
redneck country, cut fence posts for a living when he was young type guy.
So this man's sitting there talking to his dog, and I walk up and I say, "How you doing?" He introduces himself as Mr. Roger, and I say, and he looks at me and he says, "Who are you?" And I say, "I'm Daniel, Bobby's friend." And he says, "Oh no, you ain't." Or what he say? "Oh no, you're not." And I said, What do you mean? Yeah, me and Bobby talk on the phone. We're buddies. And this and that. He said, no. What did he say?
He said you like you had a tackle box on your head.
Yeah, he said you ain't coming up here with that tackle box on your head. And he wanted me to take my earrings out, my wide leg jeans, and I never met anybody that out front with it. Yeah, I did. I think I took my earring. Well, I took all but one. I couldn't take one out, but I took them all off out of respect. And it's needless to say, from the start, I don't think Mr. Roger liked me very much, but. Later on through life, he become almost just as good as a friend as Bobby. But back to the story, our thing was we would go uptown and wash our cars and go uptown and meet friends and listen to hip hop music and and that was kind of our Fridays.
Well, we had this thing called the Strip through the mall, and everybody of legal age was there.
Yeah.
And some that wasn't legal age, but no matter what, regardless, that was the thing to do. Is everybody showed uptown, and we rode through the mall. We went around by the movie theater. You made a loop. You went back through, and that's all you done. You circled all night. Think about it now. It's stupid.
I miss
horrible waste of gas. Luckily, gas back then was a whole lot cheaper, so. It wasn't too bad. We had a good time.
Yeah,
we met great people.
On a Friday, great. We had to have the new CD back then. It was
oh man, we had what was it? On Q.
On Q. That's right. On Q stores, and then we would we'd go.
Yeah, there used to use that discount.
We were into the common '90s rap, the Tupac, the Snoop Dogg, the
DMX.
No Limit. We got real into No Limit, DMX. But another thing that we were into back then was speaker systems.
Oh yeah.
And that was kind of, if you were anybody back then, going uptown, you had to have a speaker system. And
well, you had a job, so you could afford them.
Yeah.
I had 15-inch house speakers in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
You had competition.
Well, Bobby's a little younger than me. He's actually a couple years younger than me. So he was around 16 when I met him, and I was 18. But it really didn't matter. He was just the youngest guy, in our crew. But
Jeff was younger than me.
Yeah, Jeff was younger than you?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I always thought he was
15th. That was July.
Oh, never knew that. Rest in peace, Jeff. But and we, maybe in some of our later episodes we'll dig into talking about Jeff a little more. We're also going to bring another friend of ours named Chris. He was supposed to be here tonight, but he run into some issues. We had to do it kind of solo, but
curfew.
Yeah, curfew issues. But we'll definitely introduce you guys to him pretty soon. Like I say, that covers how we met and a little bit about how it was when we were teenagers. But let's kind of talk about the teenagers now. Now I'm a father, and I've got two teenagers that are currently 18, and boy, they are something else in comparison to ours.
Oh, I'm a father. I have 5 kids, 2 inherited, and so 7 total. And let's see, 6 of mine are teenagers.
Yeah, so basically you can go to any block in Georgia and you're going to see one of Bobby's kids.
Man, so, it ain't bad. It was not baby kids.
It's not baby's kids, it's Bobby's kids.
No, my kids ain't bad.
But so. What do your kids? I know what mine do, and we'll get into that. But what do your kids do for fun on typically Friday night, in comparison to, what we did?
I don't know. I keep most of them where they ain't allowed to do stuff, but the ones that are of age to get out and kind of do their own thing, I guess really kind of the same thing that I did. They want to hang out, friends. They do bonfires. They do stuff like that. They have meetups and stuff like that, but it's totally different now because of social media and stuff. The link up, and being able to communicate and orchestrate a gathering is like so much easier.
Yeah.
Or even to get a date.
Oh yeah.
Because it's crazy.
And we, back in our day, getting a date was...
It cost you 35 cents.
It would be 35 cents at a payphone, and then we had, what do we keep under our seat? The black book.
Oh yeah. Dang, telephone book, you had to have the black book.
We didn't have a contact.
I thought you were talking about the spatula for the
No, we did that too. But no, we didn't have a contact list on a cell phone back then. Actually, I actually did have a cell phone in the bins.
You had a bag phone, but we'd burn the minutes up
yeah, because you would pay either $50 or $100 a month for the bag phone to have 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And we would half the time we'd ride through the strip and light up the bag phone and not even be talking to anybody.
No minutes. But we look cool because we was on.
Yeah, we were riding the bins with a bag phone.
Only people with a phone.
But
come in the winter time, hey, you're like, hold up.
Yeah, let me hang this phone.
Hold the phone on.
Not talking to nobody.
Instead of saying if you like, make a call.
Yeah. So, but nowadays, these kids, they can link up, right away. And if we would have had something like this going on, there's no telling how our teenage lives would have worked out. But I liked it. I liked how our
I'd be dead.
How our teenage years worked out.
It was crazy because even though our access to things, like social media was non-existent,
mm-hmm.
cell phones was really non-existent.
Mm-mm.
They didn't come till a few years later. What about? Yeah. Well, I guess I was about 17, 18 for cell phones.
Yeah. Well, there was a few of them around, but they were as big as a brick. Like Chris Lee had one, and it was the size of a brick. And we used to, It
was horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't seen it that long.
But it was cool.
But when that StarTAC came out with that old flip StarTAC, boy,
that was where it's at.
Man, I had to give me one of them. But the thing is even though we didn't have the modern day conveniences of getting in touch with people,
mm-hmm.
it was so much better because we actually conversated.
Yeah,
when we did get on the phone, we talked, and we had a lot to
mm-hmm.
talk about.
Mm-hmm.
There were no texting, and when the texting did come out, you got charged per character.
Yeah.
So it was short.
Yeah.
We the ones that come up with LOL and all that stuff because we couldn't afford to give you the whole word.
That's right. We used to live for those free weekends and nights, actually.
After, what was it, 7 or 9 p.m., free nights and weekends?
But, some of the things we did, we never, like I said, we didn't have modern, social media, but we did have, we would do all sorts of creative things. We'd rollerblade a lot. Yeah. We would go there, we'd go down to Jacksonville to the skate park called Kona, and we would, we were rollerblading out there. And
I thought we was legit, too.
Yeah, we actually were not that good at rollerblading when we first started out. When we first started out, we were not that good.
I got you into it. I was already good at it.
Oh, okay. Let's define good. We were not Tony Hawk good.
Well, he didn't.
We were like,
he was on a skateboard.
Yeah, we were like Randy Hawk good, like his cousin that can't quite afford a skateboard but can get a hold of.
Quadriplegic dude.
Yeah. We were on his level.
No, he had wheels.
So tell him about the time we rolled up in Kona the first time.
Come on, when you broke your knee?
Yeah, when I broke my knee.
Well,
in the Avenues Mall. Remember, we had to get the outfit.
Yeah, had to. We was dressed to a T. We looked the part.
Mm-hmm.
And we showed up. Unfortunately, we looked all the part except the helmets and pads that were required.
Yeah.
So we had to rent those.
But we had these dragon rollerblade shirts.
I got a pink helmet.
We had the wide leg jeans, and we need to find that picture and put it on here for the viewers.
I got pictures.
But
I had to rent a pink helmet. You got what? I can't remember what. Well, I got a picture. I have to look at the picture. You
a blue helmet.
Yeah, yours matched your outfit.
Yeah.
I was what, neon orange?
But when we come up there was a lot of kids there because of how we were dressed, and we were kind of on the cusp of the jean codes. Yeah, the jean codes, the kind of dragon shirts and things we were into. We were really hip with our fashion. So when we come up there, the kids gathered around us, and keep in mind there was other professionals there that day. So the kids thought.
Remember the whole Birdhouse crew came there?
Yeah, the whole Birdhouse crew was there that day.
Speaking of Tony Hawk, Matt Hoffman,
mm-hmm.
What was that? Dave Nemechek, is that his name? Bucky Lowski.
Yeah.
Like tons of dudes. Something like that.
Yeah. But all these professional skateboarders were there that day, and Andrew Reynolds. There were several of them. Yeah, so we walk in there, and people automatically assume that we're extremists and we're part of the birdhouse crew. So, us coming in playing along with it, we're like, yeah, as these kids coming up to us, we're like, yeah, man. Yeah.
To that one dude jumped off the balcony and he was like 8 years old, and when he was like, y'all get up here, I was like,
yeah. Keep in mind, all we had done to that point for the most part was skate street. So
we jumped a couple
we would
at the hospital.
Grind and, jump around the hospital.
Grinding as in
but no high air and no big ramps. So I got out there and we're already on cloud 9 thinking that we're, better than what we actually are. And I believe it was the first drop off I dropped in.
You got, no, not when you broke, you talking about when you broke your knee?
Yeah, when I broke my knee.
No, that was later, because remember we did the snake first. They had to do
okay.
snake.
Yeah, but we can handle that, because that wasn't any high air.
Yeah, we did all that, but it was the very front, it's like a swimming pool with a bowl, and it had that little whoop that was shaped like a kidney in it.
Yeah.
And you gotta give props.
Oh yeah, you carried it over.
I took a picture perfectly.
Yeah.
It was great. And then, now that picture looked like you knew what you was doing.
Exactly.
The second picture I took, it was like, this was the moment that he knew. And then, bam!
Yeah, so I drop in, and as soon as I jump over it, I get about, 6 foot of air, and immediately come down on my knee and tear ligaments all in my knee. And Bobby rides over there and says, how you doing? And I said, I can't walk.
So I had been there before.
Oh, had you? I didn't know that.
And my brother-in-law, he went down there with some, remember because he owned a skating rink.
Yeah, remember that.
And he still had skating rink skates on with the brake on the back. And he got on Big Blue, which was that 12 foot, 15 foot half pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And when he hit the bottom, that brake caught. And he said, "Ark!" He hit his head and got a concussion. And anyway, so that ended that trip. So I had already been down there previously before we went. But when you got hurt, it was actually towards the end of the day. We was getting towards the end because you went with me to Big Blue, and then the spline, the ramp and shit like the W. We did all the, went around the park, but.
Well, I know there was several times that we went, but I just remember the first time breaking my knee.
Yeah, I think we did multiple things before you ever actually crippled yourself.
Okay, well then that's been a while back, but yeah. But again, that's some of the things that we would do. Rollerblading was our thing. I don't think anybody rollerblades anymore. Everybody's into skateboarding and other things. And
we totally just bought our kids rollerblades for Christmas.
Did you buy your kids rollerblades?
Yes, and I'm seriously debating on getting me a set.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Keep in mind you're about to be 40.
Almost 40, yeah.
You ain't quite what you used to be.
Hey, no, I put on his skates and got in there and showed him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's somewhat.
Well, if you need to ride,
I've done all the moves, but I was highly fatigued. And my arches of my feet felt like they was literally you said kerosene in my skates and set it on fire. My arches was burning. But I think I'm legit going to get some.
Well, it help you get back in shape. Getting in shape at 40 is a lot harder than getting in shape at.
I thought you were going to say important.
At early, 20. We never really had a problem being in shape because we were so active. Another thing we used to do is play paintball all the time.
Oh
yeah. We got some stories to tell on that.
We'll save them for another podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely got some stories on the paintball action.
Another thing is, with kids nowadays, like you said, they're on social media most of the time. They don't really interact the same as we did. And the good thing about how we did it back in the day is there was never any, no telling who you would meet uptown or who you would see at the mall or, so you never know who you would end up spending that night hanging out with. And there was all these different groups back in the day that you really you had the country boys here, you had the kind of lowrider crew there, you had the just kind of general socialites over here, you had.
But we really meshed with all of them.
No, we did.
Yeah. My background, where I come from, your background, Jeff's background, Chris's, for example. We all kind of come from different raising. Really. Yeah. Me and Jeff was probably more similar than anybody, which is why we kicked it off in school. But so yeah, we got to mesh and mingle with everybody. Yeah. And not trying to toot our horns, but we was pretty daggone popular.
Yeah, we had a lot of friends, and You know, and
like you had
that's the
more
good thing
freedom
about this
back
podcast. You'll hear all kind of stories throughout the years, and we've got something to tell. I mean, you know, and we may or may not mention names. So if you're out there, you're from our area, and you know us, be on guard because you may get named.
I ain't saying nothing.
But ultimately, you know, it was some of the best days, and I don't think that really, honestly, I could have had a better, you know, teenage experience than we did.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But today's world is so different than it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
I would be scared to death to let my kids go just ramble the roads like we did.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm scared for my kids to, you know, ride the bikes through my neighborhood. And I live in a good neighborhood, but it's just, I mean, we really are in a different world now. And I hate that because I wish they could have grew up like we did. You know, especially where I grew up in, you know, in my area there with the pond and, the, you know, the cow pastures and swimming and, you know, we did all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And you know, there's something to be said about, you know, definitely crime is higher than back then and the neighborhoods aren't as safe. And you would think that honestly with modern technology that the neighborhoods would be more safe now than ever because just about, I know my house has tons of cameras around it and there's a lot of security and, you know, but you know, keep in mind we do live in the South, so it's not as bad as some of the more urban cities. You know, big cities and stuff, but
in a way, you know, back then we earned our parents' trust. Somehow, even without social media, they found out.
Yeah, well, you know? I actually, you know, I pretty much moved out a lot earlier.
Well, yeah, but the thing is back in our days, like our parents had to trust us.
What about that time in front of you?
Now you can't trust. What? Now you can't trust. Man, don't say my kids don't watch this. No, actually, they know about that story. You talking about when I ran away, or which one?
Yeah, when your dad caught you down in front of you.
That was terrible. We'll talk about that later. God rest his soul too. We'll talk about that later.
Anyway, more to come on that. What are you drinking? What's your drinking choice here?
Am I allowed to say it?
Yeah, sure. It's podcast.
Bud Light, man.
Bud Light. That's your go-to beer. I'm not a beer drinker. You are a beer drinker.
Sometimes I'm broke, so I go with Bush.
Oh yeah, is that the lesser costing beer is Bush?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, see, I thought that was Natural Light.
Yeah, but yesterday was payday.
Oh, okay. That makes all the difference.
It's Bud Light today.
Well, I'm on.
No, when you hit me Monday, I'm back on that Bush. On that Bush tip.
Heineken's good. Yeah, actually, Heineken has the mini keg.
Yeah.
Correct that. But now I'm on, you know, apple pie moonshine, and I guess I may or may not say where that come from. Is it illegal to make moonshine?
I don't think it is in small quantities.
Okay, well this is a very small quantity.
It's for medicinal purposes. So.
Yeah, medicinal purposes for this apple pie moonshine. But
they say apple a day keep the doctor away.
Yeah,
flavor wise, it's great.
Yeah, it's pretty good to me. So that's kind of how how our teenage years went. You know, without delving too deep into it. And let's talk about some of the things we do now. You know, I'm about to be 42, so obviously I'm not rollerblading anymore. You know, I can't go out there and do that. But you know.
Yes, you can.
No, 100% not going to.
You're not even trying?
No.
That knee ain't about it.
No way, shape, or form.
I'm gonna try it.
Well, you do that, and when you do, I'm just hoping that maybe we'll take this camera and we'll try to capture some of that footage.
You can do that. I ain't scared. I'm gonna give me some aggressive inlines though. I'm not trying to do it on them regular traditional rollerblades like I got the kids.
Because you're worried about them bending over?
I'm not worried about my ankles folding.
Oh, okay.
And them aggressives got that hard sides. Remember that pair I went and bought from JCPenney's? I can't remember the name of them. JCPenney's used to sell rollerblades.
I remember. Yeah, no, I bought my pair out of the JCPenney's catalog as well.
I got those aggressive inlines. I had the grind plate and all that on them.
Is JCPenney still here anymore?
No, it shut down.
All the JCPenney's?
I don't know. Ours shut down.
I know before the internet was a real big thing. I mean, it was out back in the day when we were young, but you know that JCPenney catalog was hidden.
It's on the swimwear edition.
That's right.
I was ready for it. But as a young man, you could greatly appreciate the JCPenney's catalog.
That's right.
Now, prior to teenage years, it was a Sears and Roebuck.
That was way before my time.
Well, with a Sears. It wasn't Sears and Roebuck.
Okay.
I think
I do remember the Sears catalog.
Like
But
in the 50s or something. But
now basically, I like to grill. We do drink, so we'll be
drinking together.
But yeah, we grill together, all the time. That's probably one of our most favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And my specialty is the Boston butt or either ribs.
Food brings everybody together.
Yeah, it really does.
Especially fat people.
Yeah, 100%. We're both probably twice the size of when we met. So, or 3 times the way. But like I said, I like to grill. One recipe that I'll throw out there is, well, not necessarily a recipe, just my advice. If you're cooking a Boston butt, somewhere around a 4 to 5 pound Boston butt, I like to throw it on the grill, have the grill, flaming to around 400, and season it up real good with some butt rub or some garlic and onion, Lowry seasoning, and sear it on both sides, and just get that crust. And then I like to wrap it in some rimless wrap, and throw it back on the grill.
Aluminum foil for you who don't know.
Yeah, aluminum foil, rimless wrap. But I like to wrap it and then throw it on the grill for anywhere from 5 to 6 hours, and usually by that time it's around 7 or 8 o'clock, and my guests will come over, and then I'll
the late shows.
I'll throw some Cattleman's or either a homemade barbecue sauce that I come up with that.
Oh, really?
100%.
Yes,
you look at my channel, you'll see a homemade barbecue sauce that I 100% come up with, because it may or may not have been his recipe that I added something to, which therefore made it mine. So,
well, technically,
what do you call it?
Technically, I can't lay claim on it either, because it comes from the restaurant, and that's something that we collaborated on up there, and different people done things.
Well, why don't you share it with the viewers? You call it redneck sauce, right?
It's called redneck.
All right, give it to them.
What, the recipe?
Yeah.
Simple as it can be. You take equal parts of Cattleman's, the mustard-based barbecue. You take a creamy ranch dressing, mix them together. You put, depending on if you're using, we did it in a restaurant. We own a restaurant, and so we did it in bigger volumes. But if you do a gallon, then you'll put about a cup of Cajun spice seasoning in with it, and just mix them together, and it's heaven, man.
So break it down on a smaller scale, because these people are obviously not going to be mixing
smaller
gallons.
Scale. If you get the large ranch bottle and a
16
large,
ounces.
yeah, and a large Cattleman's bottle, then you'll equally mix those, and then you'll put, I'd say probably
maybe 2 tablespoons.
Yeah,
I think
2
probably
tablespoons of Cajun, just regular Cajun spice seasoning.
Yeah.
It's got a good temp to it. It's not hot. For y'all thinking it might be hot, it's definitely not hot. It's
actually sweet spicy.
It'll make you kind of sweat under your eyes. And I don't know why. I guess it's just because of the aroma.
Just the Cajun seasoning.
Yeah. But it's really good, and it's not spicy. It sounds like it would be, but it's not. It's really good. It's good on anything: pork, chicken, ribs. I mean, especially like the Boston butts.
Yeah, it's definitely
like that,
it's definitely the go-to barbecue sauce,
sauce.
And it's better than anything you can buy in the store. And I have several people over all the time to that grill or that eat my grilling, and everybody loves it. It's good on ribs, good on chicken, good on Boston butt, wings, good on
Tell
wings.
everybody how to make it. Well, I guess it don't really matter now.
No, but I'll link here a recipe in the description where they could go and look at it, and
That's terrible. Now they have no reason to come to our house.
Well, it is what it is. Take your recipes where you can get them.
Don't take that loss.
But now something that I can't touch, and I pride myself on grilling, and I've tried for years, and I actually Bobby changed the whole game on steaks for me. It's when I first met Bobby, he would laugh at me because I'd eat a well done steak
with A1 sauce.
Yeah, with A1 sauce, and that was the way that I ate steak my whole entire life until we were out at a restaurant one night, and he taught me into trying medium rare, and then it was like game changing, over with. That's how I got to eat the steak since.
Yeah, you gotta have it.
And
now, I like mine a little more rare than he does. I like mine rare, but any medium rare steak though, man, you can't turn it down.
No, and that's something that I can't touch. I'm really good at pork, but I can't I can't cook a steak like him. And what's the secret to these steaks that you cook? You're so good. I mean, everybody loves them, and you come over here and cook them, and they all get ate. And I've even, ate one pre-chewed by your wife before, so.
Yeah, you definitely do that. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time.
Yeah.
So you didn't do anything wrong. But honestly, man, like I cook. I'm like you. I cook from the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Taste buds change, man. And some days I want to taste this, some days I want to taste that. But there's always a definitely go-to. And there's some steak people out there that's like, this dude's crazy. But Dale's. I like Dale's, but I don't like Dale's in the point of it being Dale's. I water it down. I don't want it too salty. So normally I take my Dale's, I keep my old bottles, and I'll half and half them. I'll do half water, half Dale's. So I'll rub them down with that and let them soak and just rest for a while. Normally, if we got time, sometimes we're in a hurry, but if I got time, I let them run, a couple hours to overnight. Just depends.
Yeah.
And then, it's just whatever seasoning you're wanting. You really cannot mess up a steak. The biggest thing about a steak is finding a good cut of beef.
Yeah.
You want the marbling.
I 100% agree with
You
that.
got to find a steak that's just, saturated with marbling. If you go in there and that thing's lean, well, guess what? You're fixing to have a tough steak. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
So just be particular. Who cares that there's this 69-year-old woman standing behind you waiting to pick out a steak? She's going to have to weigh her turn. You got her first.
Yeah.
And you sort through them guys, and you get the ones that's got the most grainy fat structure through it. And so once you pick your beef, that's pretty much it. You let the meat talk for itself. And
so now, I use a tool that I got off of Amazon that I pierce my steaks, and and it tenderizes them. I've noticed it works really good as far as tenderizing the steak, but I've never really heard you talk about what you do as far as tenderizing.
I never do.
You never tenderize?
I never tenderize.
But your steaks are tender.
Yeah. Fall apart, easy, nothing to them.
Is that something to do with the amount of heat that you have when you sear them, or?
Well, yeah, of course.
Because they say
I don't sear my steaks.
You don't?
No, I like it good low and slow. I don't like to. If I do a quick sear, I've got a section of the grill that's set up for no heat, no directional heat. So half of it will be lit up with charcoal or whatever I'm cooking with, wood chips, whatever. And then the other will be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a place to pull them and get them out of that direct heat.
Oh, okay.
So you can, if you want to go for that sear, you char them real quick and then you move them. And then you just let them slow cook to the internal temperature that you want. I go by the old school method, where you use your fingers. The pressure that you feel when you mash down on your meat, you'll feel a sponginess, and as it cooks, it loses that.
Well, okay, because
along with flavor.
It's well done.
Yeah. So once it gets past the birdie finger, you've ruined your steak. Is basically the way that works.
Okay, that's a good tip, good method for you guys. So, and that's kind of a little bit, and you'll hear us often talking about grilling because that's our go-to. We do other stuff. Like I was saying before, I'm a big golfer. I could golf literally every day, and some weeks I do golf every day.
Well, he's a little bit of OCD.
Obsessive.
He picks up on something that he thinks he likes, and he runs with it. And I will give him this. He's been my best friend for over 20 years, and can I say damn?
Say damn? Yeah.
Okay. He's damn good at pretty much anything he decides he wants to do. Maybe not in the beginning, but he gets there, and he's a reader. He would literally buy every book that tells you how to do said subject that you're trying to learn, and he can learn it through reading.
Yeah.
And actually getting out there doing it. I watched this dude go from drawing stick man to portraits.
Yeah.
From picking the top string on a guitar to playing music.
Yeah.
then you got golf. You pretty much stuck with golf for a long time now.
I
That's
really
probably been your longest.
Well, golf at my age, golf gives me the exercise aspect.
An addiction, though?
You can call it addiction.
That's been his longest addiction.
And building furniture. I like to build furniture. That's something else that I do. But
he's very good at that. Maybe you can put your link down as far as your
my furniture business.
Your furniture business. That great furniture, great quality.
I'm a serial hobbyist.
I wasn't a fan of his furniture in the beginning, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was like, I could do it better. I was wrong. I can build stuff, but I think he's studied more books than I've glanced at, so
I do. I have a lot of time, and like I said, my biggest hobby is reading, and that's something that I enjoy, and I enjoy a challenge. So anything that I can get into that piques my interest, that presents a challenge to me, is something that I'm into. But again, you're on the country boy end of the spectrum, so I know you kayak a lot, and you actually have a group you're in, right?
Yeah,
kayak group.
Yeah, a little kayak group. We get together. We'll do little camping trips. We'll do overnight trips. We have done a day or two trip, and luckily where we live at, there's a plethora of water sources.
Yeah.
Whether it be river, coastline, lakes, ponds, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, we use the river sources, and we put in, and we always start, of course, upstream, and we just kind of coast and just have a good time, drink cold drinks, and ease down, find a good place to set up camp. We set up camp. Normally, I'm the cook. I cook for everybody, and we practice our survival skills, if you will, trying to build primitive fires. Yeah. Normally I don't take food, I'll take more of survival type food or prepper food.
All the thing on the surface of kayaking sounds really good, but for me, I have a couple of obstacles in the reasons why I've never went kayaking with you. Yes, Number one, I swim barely better than dog paddling, well, if you even call it that.
You float damn good though.
Yeah, I float good because I'm shaped like a buoy. But and snakes, snakes are my biggest fear, and
that video did not go viral.
Huh?
That video didn't go viral.
No, we may put it in here if we can get a hold of it. But he's always poked fun at me about the snakes, even to the point to where tell him about the Pike Electric story.
Should we say the business?
Call it what you want.
There's a company out of Mount Airy, North Carolina.
Pike, we don't work there anymore.
Yeah, we definitely don't work there anymore. Anywho, okay, well, let's give you some background. He's terrified of snakes.
100% terrified. Freeze up.
We'll catch one in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. Poisonous, non-poisonous, it don't matter.
Yeah, he'll get out there and
I love snakes.
Catch rattlesnakes.
I think they're great. But so we knew he had this, I won't call it a fear or a phobia. It's way worse than either one of those words.
It locks me up.
And he's driving a chip truck at this time. You were still a grunt man at the time. Mm-hmm. And so he's driving a chip truck with a chipper behind him. And I can't remember, it was a dead snake that we found. He wasn't even alive, was he?
Yeah, 100% didn't matter. It was a rattlesnake.
Either way, we got this snake. And we put it inside a chip truck on lunch break. And we're heading down the road. And we're ahead of him. And he's behind us. And we see him in the mirrors. And all of a sudden, we see a dude jump out the truck. And the truck's still going down the dirt. A whole ass. I can say that.
Yeah, you can say it. Yeah, because I'm about to say it. These assholes literally hit a snake underneath my lunch bucket.
So he leaves a moving vehicle, a company vehicle of that, to fend for itself.
100% jumped out the truck. Didn't stop, didn't put it in dry or neutral. None of that. I left. I saw the snake.
It's a 10-speed sponsor, so
I jumped the hell
you didn't
out.
have much of a choice. It was neutral.
Yeah.
You can't really pull a park at that speed. Nor was you concerned about it. But yeah, we did him dirty, man. More times than once.
Yeah, there's several snake stories, and we'll definitely share them as we go.
He's definitely got to share the link to the video of his home security cameras.
I'll tell that story real quick. So I mean, all right. So I've got cameras around my house, and I'm big into mowing. I love mowing my grass. It's just my therapy, and I enjoy it almost as much as golf. So one day I'm out crank my lawnmower up in the garage, get on the mower, jump out there, start mowing my grass. Okay, as I'm out there mowing, I feel something slide across my thigh. Well, so as it's sliding across my thigh, I look down, and again, I see this damn snake. And it had to be, 7 foot, which in reality it was probably 3 foot.
But
yeah, so whatever the case.
I didn't even see the snake.
The snake was huge.
The
snake
camera.
was huge. It was huge. So it slid across my leg. I look up, and again, terrified, freak out. It paralyzed me. I jump off the lawnmower, see it, realize what it is, have a pause where I just literally cannot say anything. And then after a few seconds, I scream when I could get my grasp. I scream, and then I have my son bring me a gun. If I can find the link, it's shitty quality, but if I can find the link, I'll put it on there and I'll let you guys make fun of me.
Oh my God, that yell.
So, but anyways, that's me and snakes.
Pure terror is what it was.
It is.
If you could take and just encapsulate that into a mason jar and just sneak it out every Halloween, just a little. Oh my God, you scared the hell out of some kids.
It's awful. It's awful. My phobia of snakes is
scared.
Bring the rifle by the door. The rifle, hurry.
So, but anyways, I guess we'll get to closing now.
I'm scared of mice.
We've
just
they're
food source. I don't do. So.
Yeah. Well, the rats in your house were like that big.
What house?
Your mom and dad's house that would come from the field. They were like literally that big. Jamestown.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, they were grown, bigger than cats.
I've never seen one.
I thought it was like New York City.
You sure that one Mama Chihuahua?
So biggest rats I ever
my
seen.
Snake.
100%, biggest rats I ever seen in my life.
My snake actually ate my Mama Chihuahua.
Yeah, I could 100% agree with that. Oh, and the night that I stayed the night with you, the first night I stayed the night with him, I sleep and I wake up to the sound of something hitting glass. And then as I roll over in my sleep, open my eyes, and I see this kid has a moccasin trapped in an aquarium, and it's steady striking at my head through the aquarium. No forewarning, no, hey, I've got a deadly snake, 12 inches away from your head, none of that. Just, come stay the night, you can sleep on the bed. Oh, by the way, deadly snake, literally, right there by your head.
Did you die though?
Almost died of fear.
Yeah.
But,
he didn't bother you. He was just trying to get your attention, you was new to the house.
Anyway,
great
so we got to close. We're taking this thing on forever, but this is this is our podcast. Manifest Unloaded. You guys will see us. We'll be on Spotify, Apple TV.
Emphasis on the man part.
Yeah, Manifest. But we'll be on all the major podcast service providers, and we'll definitely be on YouTube. We've got it recorded, and we'll try to do one of these a week, and as often as we can.
Yeah.
And,
if y'all like it, like, comment, subscribe. Send us some messages. Let us know.
And interact
or whatever. Yeah.
Interact. It'll give us different subjects that to talk about, as well as whatever y'all want to know, and we may or may not go into it. And if you want to keep your name out of it, you might better message us.
Depending on how much alcohol we had, determines how much we give y'all. But
and this is authentic. This is real. This is it's not for camera. This is us on a typical Friday night, and that's how we want to keep it.
Yeah, it's non-scripted. We're not here trying to. We have tag points, things that we want to hit on and talk about. But hopefully, as this thing goes, it'll be pretty much viewer
driven.
Yeah, viewer driven. We're going off of what y'all are giving us, and we're going to feed off of y'all.
Yeah.
So, and that's the goal here, is to just get y'all involved in our lives and share stories.
Some of these stories, we've got
and
years
how
and
we're
years of
still
them.
friends of 20 plus years being polar opposites
Polar opposites.
in so many different areas. We won't get into all the areas, but so many different areas. But
I'm sure over time they'll leak out, and when they do,
well,
you guys will get it first. But
we love each other, and
that's right.
Been best friends for a long time. And
subscribe to our videos so that way you won't miss it. And till then, I'll see you.
love you guys.
Bye.
Drink it cold one.